Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny. In this video I want to talk about women, and I'm very aware doing this video, and I'm very aware that I could be criticised doing this video. I've been quite scared to do this video for a long time. So I didn't want to give people the wrong impression, and I didn't want to be criticised or typecasted or looked upon as a chauvinist or someone who's hateful towards women or feels bad about women, but it's certainly not the case. But I've just decided this year that I don't really care what people think. I'm just going to speak my mind. I'm just going to be honest and say what I feel. Now obviously within that I want to remain respectful, but I think in me telling the truth I'm always going to be respectful to myself and to my followers. Nothing I'm going to mention as well to take the burden and the pressure off me. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be able to inspire people all around the world. I'm not fucking perfect. I've got fear as well. I'm still learning. And I'm tired. Maybe these are voices in my head and they are projected in the world, or just what seems to be in our culture. I'm tired of not being able to be human because I've gone down as a life coach or a dating coach. So I must always look stern, sharp, confident. I can never be seen to be nervous or anxious. I can't make a mistake. I can't burp or fart. I'm just not going to play that role, because that would definitely not be myself. And I thought to myself the other day, I remember saying to my mum in a conversation, telling her about the work I do. She goes, I'm really proud of you. I'm so good what you do. You must feel really proud. I said, I absolutely love it. I love helping these guys, love working with them. But I said, you know what, Mum, sometimes I get nervous when I'm going to teach, because I feel pressure. I feel the pressure of people having such a good impression of me. But my mum said to me, but if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to help. You wouldn't be able to help the men that you work with. You wouldn't be able to relate with them on that level. I said, you're right, that's a good point. I said, that's how I've ever achieved anything in my life. Anything that was honest or of value, I was always nervous about it. I was nervous because I cared. I wasn't nervous because I was a coward. I wasn't nervous because I was scared, although I felt scared. I was nervous because I care, and that's a good thing, and it's rightly so, because I wouldn't be able to transform people's lives and relate to them. Then I went a little bit deeper. I was just coming in, I just got some shopping, and I thought, actually, I'm not on a higher level than my students. I'm not on a lower level. I'm on the fucking same level. I'm on the same level, and that's what makes me able to teach from such a pure, honest place. I think the moment teachers forget that and think they're higher than their students, they're going to be teaching from a place of complete arrogance and ego, and it wouldn't serve anyone. So it's just the title, and I just want to sort of announce that I don't really like being titled. I don't really like being called Johnny Berba, the dating and life coach, because I just feel that just boxes me in, that limits me to what I can teach, and then how can I learn? I want my students to see that, bloody hell, Johnny on some days, he struggles just like me. On another day, Johnny's excellent, he's fantastic. And that is the truth, that really is the truth. And the truth is, for people that suffer social anxiety, it never fully goes away. But you get to a place of grace where you're so confident at managing it. It almost is like it has gone away. But you always have to manage it in different situations. And I don't think that's different for anyone. I don't think there's a person that graces the earth that doesn't sometimes feel anxiety. We all do. So social anxiety is just life anxiety. But of course, my job as a teacher and as a student or a practitioner of fear, anxiety, confidence is to just get better every single day. Great, I've cleared that up. So in this video, I want to talk about women. I talk about men all the time. I want to make one thing very clear before I go on to let my thoughts off on the camera and share this with men and women and whoever's watching. Sorry, that's a nervous tick and a twitch. I am not a chauvinist. I am not a chauvinist at all. I'm not a chauvinist. I don't hate women. I absolutely love women. That's why I'm doing this video. So, one of the frustrations I see in the dating industry, I see it everywhere, with men and women, is there's got to be careful how I say this. Sometimes I feel, as a man, it's unfair the way men get treated and how women get off the hook. Sometimes it's difficult being a man. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Because for most men, I can speak for myself, not in the present, in the past, we don't trust women. We don't trust you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of our childhood experiences. So let me tell you some of my experiences in school, some of the things that hurt me, women did. When I was younger in school, I was a good guy, I was a nice guy, full of love. I had no ideas. The only ideas I had was, oh, I like this woman, it feels good, I want a girlfriend. Now, I'm not going to say names, but I remember this one girl that I'd met when I was about, I don't know, 13, 12. I was so romantic, I took off my jumper that a friend had gave me, a designer jumper. It was a big deal then. Oh, we were poor back then, so it was a Benetton jumper, and I gave it to her as a gift because I fancied her so much. And one of the other girls set her up with me, but she played an unkind trick on me. She went out with me to humiliate me in front of my whole school and to embarrass me. So she pretended she liked me. She said she was my girlfriend. I accepted. We kissed, and then she dumped me, laughed at me, made fun of me, and dated a guy who beat me up. And that damaged me when I was younger. I know that sounds crazy for a 32-year-old man, but that stayed on my psyche for a long time. So I remember coming home and saying to my dad or my mum, both of them, I can't believe what this girl has done to me. She's really hurt me. She's damaged me. She's just played a horrible trick on me. She's humiliated me. I'm no good. I'm ugly. Women don't like me. So that was one experience I had amongst many. And you have to understand, I'm speaking to women and men and our society and the media, whoever watching. When a man goes through this and he's innocent, it affects your trust with women. It affects you. It makes you feel no good. Obviously, equally, when men bully men, it makes men not trust men. Now I'm going to get to women because I'm saying equal rights. So listen carefully what I said. I'm not a chauvinist, and I don't agree with men being unkind to women, but I also don't agree with women being unkind to men. Equal opportunities, equal rights for men and for women. So this is one of my experiences. I've got so many, it would probably take me 10 hours to explain. I'm going to say something that comes to my head. Another experience I had in a nightclub with a girl that I barged into me, and I said, oh, excuse me, you barged into me, and she said something, and I said, oh, be careful, and she said, oh, it doesn't matter, you're ugly anyway. That hurt me. There was so many experiences. I had a girl at school, this is going to sound hilarious, being how violent I was at the time. I had a girl that used to bully me. She used to bully lots of men in school. She was terrifying. She was one of the popular girls in the school. You couldn't defend yourself against her because all of the top kids in the school, she would have got you battered. She possibly killed, possibly stabbed. So I had a lot of bad experiences with women, as I did with men, as I did with a strict father. So when you go through this type of experience, it's very, very difficult for you to be yourself and to expose yourself and say, this is who I am, because your trust has been destroyed. So growing up around my friends, I became very, very resentful towards women because all I seen was women going out with the bullies, women going out with dishonest men, the same men that were punching me in the back, spitting on me, taking my money, doing it to the other kids. Some of these men I knocked out myself because they just kept bullying me. It was horrific what I went through, what I grew up around. I didn't just experience it. I've seen other men going through this. As I got into my later adult life, I remember even my dad saying to me, even in conversations, he said to me, a woman is such a big part in a man's life. There's wonderful women out there, and I always used to think, I've got a great example. I've got a great mum. What a wonderful woman. Best woman in the world. My nan, the most kindest, beautiful woman you've ever met in your life. The most honest, congruent, genuine, help anyone, just full of love. Not hold a bad grudge against anyone. My mum was the same. Of course, like all mums, she had her moments. She drove me fucking mad, saying tidy my room. But I loved her. She's my mum. So I had a good relationship with my mum. And I used to always say to my mum, I can't get women, mum. they don't like me, I'm ugly. My mum used to say, my mum used to cry, my mum used to say, don't say that, you're not. I didn't feel good on the inside, and my shyness got worse, and the bullying at school. You try going to, I'm talking to women when I say this, you try being a man in a school where you get spat on, you get a knife pulled on you, you get people waiting outside for you and trying to rob you, and you tell me that you're supposed to remain normal after that, and you're not supposed to have social anxiety. And in the school, the women are just as bad as the men. I'm telling you, man, the women were bullying the men. And the men were saying, please don't take my money. I'm not joking. This is how my school was. I'm not joking you. Now, on the flip side of that, there were some amazing women in my school. I remember this woman from, I think it was from Venezuela, beautiful. I never spoke to her. One day she just came up to me in school and handed me a letter. It's one of the sweetest things I've ever experienced. When I opened the letter, it had a love heart and it said, will you be my boyfriend? I was almost choked. I thought, me, I'm the ugly kid at school, I'm the ugly duckling, girls don't like me. She was beautiful, I accepted. I was so embarrassed. I think we kissed. I can't remember what happened. The most genuine, loveliest woman. Not a bad thing to say about her. So I had mixed experiences. I had experiences with really kind, honest, congruent women, and I had experiences with women that were very, very dishonest and very, very manipulative. I'm going to go further. This is before I got near the pickup community, picked up the book The Game, met Floyd. I was at a party and I met this Russian girl whose name was Yulia. It doesn't matter because there's a billion Yulias, and I was incredibly attracted to her. She was just beautiful, curvy eyes, like an actress, and I can't remember how old I was living in Fulham. I was in my early 20s, and I said to my friends, I really fancy her, do you mind? Because I was in a party, I didn't know if she was someone's girlfriend. They said, go ahead. So I asked her out, and she accepted. I think it was over Facebook, or I can't remember, some kind of internet or texting. We went on a date, and I was nervous, I was inexperienced, I was low confidence, but I was always a courageous man. I was always courageous, even with my social anxiety. I would go there and sit through it. And I really cared about this girl, so I made a big deal. And I took her to Souk Medina in Covent Garden, because a good friend of mine at the time, he recommended it. And he stitched me up. He said to me, Johnny, it's going to cost you only £3. I spent £50 on a date. I know, guys, I know what you're going to say. It was ages ago. Because I was a nice guy. I had no personal boundaries. I didn't know who I was a kid. I was trying. And she accepted. She ordered extra stuff. She had, no manners. She didn't say thank you. And at the end of the night, she kissed me on my cheek, said thank you, and nothing. I felt shortchanged. I felt misled. I think she used me to go out on a date, let me spend money, and yeah, she tricked me. So I experienced that, and I started to think, I can't trust women, because when I'm being a nice guy, like my mum says, and what we're taught in the media, what men are taught, then it doesn't work. It does not work. I've tried it. And it just, my trust. Then, I'm not going to mention names, I started to move around a different social circle. I was around drugs and violent people, and I was doing it myself. And I was around these very, very beautiful souls, beautiful women. Sorry, my phone's going off. Very beautiful women, but very damaged. Angry, violent, using men for money. I've seen it, I've lived it. No one can, I don't care, no one can tell me, because I've experienced it. It's not something I've read. It's not something that I'm making up to complain about women. I've experienced this. So I've been around some very, very dishonest women. Women that are heartless. Women that will use a man, take his money. I've heard it in conversations, I've had women admit it to me. When I started to go out to do the day game, I was still naive. Because I'd experienced that with women, I still had enough love towards women, enough optimism that I wasn't ignorant. I knew that it doesn't mean all women like that. I'm not going to buy that. I'm not a chauvinist. I'm not a man who hates women, because there are men that are like that have been done over by women. I had a friend that his wife cheated on him, and I met her and I had eye contact with her. We had food and we went regularly, and that hurt me when she done that to him, because he was a good guy and he gave her a good life, and she just cheated on him and left him, and and disgraced him, his whole family. So when you see these things happen, it affects you, because even when it's not you, it's your friend. You think, how can a woman do this to a man? How can a woman give her word and marry the man and give vows over? And culture, religion, and agree, and then go and cheat on a man and do this. So you can't. We live in a society where we're too quick to point fingers. There's too much grey area. It's like if a man complains, oh, he's a chauvinist or he hates women. It's like no. That's being ignorant. You have to understand when someone goes for a certain experience, they're hurt. And the same with a woman. If a man cheats on a woman, it's all men are dogs. So it's not really fair. And I know years ago, I know I'm treading on a very, very delicate matter here. I don't care, I'm speaking my mind. I know years ago that women didn't have any rights. I can't remember the time in the 60s when they did that famous walk through New York and they took out cigarettes and they smoked cigarettes and it was a sign of freedom, and I think that's good. And feminism came about, and I don't think necessarily feminism was a bad thing, but I think it should be equal. And I don't think it is equal. Maybe in some cultures, maybe in Sweden, maybe in certain countries, but in Britain, I don't think it's equal. I think there are certain types of women, not all, that don't respect men, that know that they can go on online dating, use a man, make him pay for a thing, and betray him. So, what's the solution? I don't have the answer. I don't have it, because I'm a dating and life coach. I'm a spiritual teacher as well. I'm a philosopher. I'm a student. I'm a man who's done many mistakes. But I'm just going to speak my mind, and this is a process. This is something we're working towards. It's like saying, what's the solution for world peace? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I like what Gandhi said. The change starts from within. The change starts from the individual. And this is what I wanted to say today in this video to women. Now, I've met many women. I've mentored some women. And they've said, you know what, Johnny? I can't meet a good guy. I wish I could meet a guy like you or your friends. Where are all the good men? And I say, well, you're looking for a man that doesn't exist right now. And the woman would say, what do you mean by that? Because you're a dishonest woman. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's like, yes, you are. You've been cheating on men. So you're looking for a man that doesn't exist because you're a cheat. So you're going to attract cheats. But if you was to stop cheating and have integrity and build the kingdom within, you will attract that man. Do you see my point? So it was very difficult for me during my pickup journey to trust women. I mean, I taught men to be honest, but I still struggled with it at the time. And I've seen a massive community in the pickup community, a movement of men that had felt let down by women. And I understand, even though contradictory, I don't like pickup artistry. I know it's not honest, and I know that it's damaging men, and I know it's damaging women. But I understand where that movement come from, because that was a reaction. That was a reaction from men like myself that were bullied at school, that had trauma from a parent, that had been let down, that had been cheated on by women. I mentored so many men that had been cheated on by their girlfriends or their wives, or they've been bullied at school. So sometimes we have to be a bit more intelligent and not so ignorant to just be so quick to say, oh, men are bad because they're being abusive towards women, or women are bad because they're being abusive towards men. We have to look at the deeper aspects of where does this pain come from. It's no different for a man or for a woman. The pains come from childhood trauma or upbringing, bad circumstances. I've spoke to so many beautiful women. I've had women write to me on Facebook and say, I'm really struggling, I can't meet a man, and I'm afraid to get hurt because I don't trust men. So I understand how women feel, because I didn't used to trust anyone. So I know how both sexes feel. So I'm not taking sides. But I'm not going to sit here as a man and have people point fingers and attack men for being honest, having boundaries. And I think men have got a right to speak out. If a man wants to say that women are dishonest because they've had a bad experience, they should have a right to say that. Because there are dishonest women in the world, as there are dishonest men, as there are honest women and honest men.